ASMR. Now, before I start, I've got to ask you all something, okay? I just want to ask you, if I did gum chewing with my scary stories videos, would that be okay? Because I know a lot of people like the gum chewing, but I'm not sure whether the people that like the scary stories would also like the gum chewing, but please let me know in the comments, guys. Okay, I've now got the weirdest story to tell you. Actually, let's wind the clock up and light the fire, because this one is so strange. I still can't work it out. Right, I'll start from the beginning. Me and Traverse Lassance have been a bit down recently because of the mould in the place, and the spiders, and you know, the fact that it's now winter and the weather's all dark and miserable and horrible and it's freezing cold. So we've been having a bit of a difficult time with everything. But we normally go to Aldi's, which is nice. You have a nice walk through a forest, you know, little path, like follow the yellow brick road till we get to Aldi's. It's nice. But I had to pick up my prescription from the pharmacy, and the pharmacy is in the other town, and to get to the other town it's full of hills and it's really horrible to get there. So we're walking, and we're walking up big massive hills, and you know, driver's license is moaning about it. She's not happy. So we stopped, had a little rest, and then we carried on. Then you have to walk up another big massive hill to get to the car park where the pharmacy is. We eventually get to the top of this hill, both hot and exhausted. Anyway, we then go to the pharmacy. I picks up my prescription and driver's license is moaning and complaining. And I was saying to her, can you please stop moaning, complaining? But she really wasn't happy. But it's where the weird thing starts. We go in Iceland, because that's where Iceland is in that part of the town. As we're walking towards Iceland, I've got to point out that I've lived here for about 4 years, and I have never seen one of these people before. Never. But there's this woman with these leaflets, and Fran is on the side where she is, right? Where the woman is. She goes, oh, hello. License goes, hello. Would you like one of these? It wasn't a copy of Wish You Were Here by Pink Floyd, unfortunately, but what it was a leaflet that opened I don't know if it was a new church. It was for a church. It had a picture of Jesus on it. So I said to Fran, I said, there you go. I said, even Jesus is telling you now to stop moaning, he's sending you a sign. And she burst out laughing and everything was all fine. Right. We then go in Iceland. And someone has asked me to do sticky toffee pudding and talk about my worst accidents and stuff, which I'm gonna do. I'm looking for sticky toffee pudding and I couldn't find it. So I said to Fran, it's got to be here in the frozen section. So she said, no, it's not in the frozen section, it's at the front. They're all at the front. So we had to walk all the way back to the front. I'm carrying this basket as heavy as of a small car. So I just left that on the floor and just walked to the front. I'm going, oh, here we are. Sponge cakes and sponge this and sponge that. But there's no toffee pudding, no sticky toffee pudding. So Fran goes, they'll be in the frozen. They'll be in the frozen bit. I said, you mean the frozen bit that I was looking in? So she started laughing again. She thought that was funny. So we're not going back to where I was going to look originally. I goes back. And we're looking and Fran then goes, oh, there it is. I've got sticky toffee pudding. That'll be coming up in the foreseeable future. So we got the sticky toffee pudding. And then here's the strange thing, guys, and believe me, it's strange. There's only one checkout open. And this is me and Fran. And this was heavy, this basket. I had loads of stuff in it. So I put it in the pile of baskets at the bottom of the checkout. All of a sudden, this guy's walking up. This is no word of a lie. Right? He only had 2 items. So he's slowly walking towards the checkout. I thought, well, I've got tons of stuff. I said, do you want to go through with them, mate? He went, are you sure? I said, yeah, of course. I said, I've got loads of stuff. I said, don't worry. He goes, oh, thank you. That's all right. So he goes in front of us. He goes, I'm glad you did that. Yeah, because I've got to catch my bus. So it's all right, no problem. Lovely, lovely guy. Right. I remember Fran has now got this leaflet of Jesus, right? This guy then goes, and this is the weird bit. My name is, right? And me and Fran, for the life of us, can't remember what he said his name was. So what did he say his name was? She can't remember and I can't. I went, oh, nice to meet you. I'm Jeff. And then Fran says, oh, I'm Francesca. Nice to meet you. Shakes her hand. When I shook his hand, it was like there was nothing there. He was there. I couldn't feel anything. It was really the weirdest thing. And I can't remember what he said his name was. He goes to me, "Do you like football?" No, he says, "You've been watching the football?" Now, my team is West Ham, who might as well just be called West Ham Lost. Because they just keep losing all the time. So, as I said, it's not really worth me watching it. I said, my team always lose. He goes, "Who is it?" I said, "West Ham." He went, "Oh, maybe they'll be lucky today. Who's they playing? Tottenham, I think." Anyway, beautiful, really lovely guy. He went, "Well, thank you again for letting me go first." He went, "Have a great New Year." I goes, I said, "You too, mate. Thank you, really lovely guy." Even the woman I checked out went, "Oh, wasn't he nice?" So I've got my stuff. Paid for it. Come out. And he's gone. I said, perhaps his bus came along. He said he had to get a bus, but he wasn't. There were people at the bus stop, but not him. And the two items he had, don't laugh, I swear, was a bottle of water and a loaf of bread. I kid you not. Because I was joking with Fran after. I said, "Well, he had the bread." I said, "He's got the water, he can probably turn that into wine." I said, I looked up West Ham's match with Tottenham, and we've won 2-1. Right? We're then sitting in the coffee shop, and Fran has this story about when she was little. Her mum said when you was little, she's picking up these plates and putting them in the kitchen and had these little slippers on. Someone walks by with a little girl with the exact same slippers walking by. And Fran's gone, "Oh my God." Then we get home and we're watching a film. Fran gets a message from her mum because her sister's having a baby, and she's had the baby yesterday. Now, I'm not religious in any way, but that was really strange. I couldn't feel his hand, it was so weird. And having water and a loaf of bread. I mean, I don't know. Did I meet Jesus? I don't know. I mean, he didn't have a beard or anything, or sandals and a robe or whatever. He was clean shaven, blue eyes. There was just something about him that wasn't like any person I'd ever met. So, yeah. Well, and I'm still puzzling over it now. And also, we can't remember his name. What his name was. And then the football. And then Fran's sister's baby. Seeing that little girl. And what was weird, she saw the little girl and she started crying. Happy tears. Tears of happiness. So strange, guys. really strange. But yeah, it was a very interesting day. And there was another thing. I took my prescription out of the bag to put the shopping in. Put the shopping in, said goodbye, walked out. As I got to the steps, someone was calling me. I'd left my prescription on the checkout. So he said, "Oh, you left these in there, lad." I said, "Oh, thank you so much." I said, "I so desperately needed these." And I thought, everything went well. It just made me think, I don't know. What do you think, guys? I think it was all just coincidence. It was the handshake. It was just, as soon as we saw him, it was like, this is someone not like anyone else. Really strange. But yeah, I thought I'd share it with you. I was going to do, which I will probably do tomorrow or the next day, because Resident Evil Requiem is on the way, and oh my goodness me, does it look fantastic. Oh, I'm so excited. So I'm going to be doing a bit of that, a little ramble about that with my little TV, and we'll show some bits from it, because it looks great. But yeah, let me know about the gum chewing, guys, with the scary stories, and let me know what you think about that. I said I'm not religious at all, but that was very strange.